Welcome back
We're
to
back
the Busted
to-
Shovel podcast.
We're back, department. I'd like to file for a shovel.
He's bald, and I'm Shovel. And we're going to get back in the swing of things. But
Yeah.
we need to address the elephant in the room for the fans.
But it's a tiny elephant, but it is an elephant.
It's an elephant nonetheless.
Some might call it a baby elephant.
Mm-hmm. You've taken all the hair from
We-
your head and put it on your face.
We bought a zoo.
We bought a zoo. And I know what you're thinking. No, we can't afford it.
Technically, if we bought the plot of land next door, I could afford the land there.
Yeah, so we could do the land.
We
The
could-
animals
we
might
could
be...
we could fence in Frank.
We can fence in Frank, and we'll dress him up in different things.
He'd make a great
One
dragon.
including another dog costume. It's just really confusing. We call it Dogception. This could work.
We'd have to dress him up like the one from Wilfred.
That'd be all. I'll just do that.
Oh,
Actually.
so you'll be in the zoo.
I'll be in the zoo. Wait,
Just
but-
going,
but then-
Ryan.
yeah, I'll
Ryan.
have an Australian accent. I'll start smoking a lot of weed. Yeah, this could work. This could work. But
As long as you said $40K for that?
I think it did drop to. It's either like 40 or 50 now. But
So-
I mean, on the other side, that went for I think officially 140. I want to say. Kate
Yeah,
was
I
telling
mean,
me?
yeah,
So-
but at least that makes sense, sort
Yeah,
of.
because there's
Over
building.
$150,000 worth of work there. Still, though.
It was crazy. They whipped up the foundation for that in like a day.
Yeah, I see that. They're just...
Because right before the snowstorm, that didn't really hit up here. Because in Flemington, they got like a foot at
Yeah.
least. Here, they got like 5 inches.
Well, I was in Cali.
Well, you were in Cali.
Son. Okay, but you do need to address the other elephant. The baby elephant.
Mm-hmm. There is a baby elephant. And he's in our zoo. Because we bought a zoo. And isn't that beautiful? No, we do. We have welcomed to the world a beautiful young man who is G3, as you will know him. No, he's not Jives. Jives took a very, very, very long vacation, and we were really upset. He didn't have the PTO built up. We just started this shit.
We kept paying him.
We kept paying him. It's like, why would we keep paying him when we bought a zoo?
And he's not even helping us with the
He's
zoo.
not helping us with the zoo,
Like,
and he's just...
Jives, you gotta lock it in.
There's just a lot of overhead, and
And it's all over my head.
it's all
So
over his head. And I'm just trying to understand why he thinks his job is hard when all he does is stand with a camera all day.
And like some say, something's holding the camera for him too.
His mind? Or his heart? Jives.
The power of love.
The power of love is wielding the camera for Jives.
That's how it's so still.
It is.
Because love is steadfast and
Love is
unmoving
steadfast. It's beautiful.
and solid.
It's stupid. Like Jives. Freaking idiot.
It is true. Love will make you do stupid things.
Mhm.
That's why we don't listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Have hate in your hearts.
Yeah, be filled with it.
Stay strong. Close yourself in.
But yeah, so that's really what kind of set everything back. That's why we've been gone, and we're really excited to get back into the swing of things and really start doing some new stuff that we talked about working on. But we figured we just kind of get back to the roots of just bullshitting today, and kind of laying out where we think this is going, and I guess just kind of going over everything, where we're at, all that stuff.
I mean, yeah, because we've still talked about this. We haven't dropped this, obviously.
Yeah.
We're still here. Stuff still stuff. Couch is still in this L shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's pictures behind me of stuff.
Yep.
Microphone in my face.
In his face, not mine.
Well,
Mine, actually.
but yeah, no, we've talked about, we kind of have like a quasi, at least we have stuff, minimum is probably going to be like a monthly video. So I guess we could talk about going into, what did you call those? The
Concept albums?
concept
yeah.
albums.
Yeah, so I'd love to talk about this even beyond the idea. So we're going to, it could be monthly, it could be bi-weekly. I don't think it'll be a weekly thing because it's going to be pretty demanding on us, but I got into a big Dream Theater phase, and I listened to what is one of the greatest concept albums of all time, which was written by them. And it's this really beautiful story and stuff, and I've listened to concept albums, but I never have truly delved into them. and it kind of sent me spiraling because I just loved the musicality of it, the writing of it, but I ended up deciding like, oh, I should just start digging into a bunch of like the best concept albums of all time. So bingo. I presented it to him, and originally I was like, hey, because I know it's going to be a lot. I can like solo record these or something, and just listening to like what I kind of cross-reference a bunch of lists to make the top 10 best concept albums of all time. And he's like, no, dude, fuck it. I want to be a part of it too. So we figure we sit here, listen to both of them, and try to understand what the messaging of the artist is through the music. Kind of go through it, talk about it, and then at the end, kind of looking it up and seeing how stupid we are.
I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, but we're super smart, and our
All the
opinions
time.
matter
Because we're on a microphone.
because we have microphones
And you're not.
and we have a jives.
Dumb.
So, but yeah, because obviously music kind of just seems like a big lead with this, because you're smart about it, and my ears like to hear things.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely the genesis of this. But,
Did
Yeah,
you
it'll
say
be fun.
Genesis?
mm-hmm. No, not
I
our
kn-
friend.
I'm gonna start going. Hey, Genesis, what's up?
Which that was actually like
Yeah, but see, I know what that means. Is that center?
the beginning.
Well, yeah, but that's
'Cause that's really how this pod started, really, with the whole Sleep Token thing, right? It was like, oh, we want an outlet to really like put ourselves out there and whatever, and that was a good medium for us to kind of like jump off of. And it's cool because we get to expand our boundaries with that, and I really want to because I've been on a huge like just listening to famous like bands, like some of the best records ever too, like and it's crazy because I feel like Radiohead is one of the biggest bands ever. But I never really listened to them that much. Like I've heard of like OK Computer and stuff, but listening to the Bends, it's like over the past week, it's been nonstop playing for me. It's one of the greatest albums ever written to me. Like
interesting.
I've just been jamming to so much new music, and it's so fun, and I want to keep doing that. While also part of that, what's fun now for me when I go back to Sleep Token, like I probably didn't listen to them for like a week or something. And I had my songs on shuffle, kind of just taking a break. I think it was while I was at the gym. And Emergence came on. And I was like, I genuinely forgot how good this shit is.
Mhm.
Like, production-wise, writing-wise, like, it almost made the music very refreshing. Even though I still love it, but it was like, oh my god, I miss this flavor.
Yeah, it's like you take a break from like caffeine.
Yeah.
Shout out Zach.
Mhm.
And then when you finally come back to it, you're like, oh, this is
home.
it. This
Yeah.
is
This is the quintessential product that I really enjoy.
this is
And
the magnum opus.
yeah. I totally agree. It is like it's super super fun, but it's also cool because I'm really trying to explore that space a lot more because I've always been someone who's been very like stuck in what I've liked listening to, and I'd like branch out a little bit, but not to like the extent that I am now, because in our top 10 concept albums, Jesus,
Yeah.
um,
Tom diddly doodly doo.
yeah. Like there's a mix of like there's prog in it. Obviously with some of the most famous albums ever. There's like I want to say classic rock. There's some hip hop. There's like it's all over the place. So I'm really excited. I think there's even rock opera in there too, which I'm excited to check
Ropera?
out. Ropera.
Opera.
Op rock.
I don't like opera. It sounds weird.
But yeah, so that's one of our main ideas. And in turn of that, we're gonna stop for a bit with listening to a band's whole discography and doing the ranking videos.
Unless something like that does come up and like, because I mean it's
And it
not
makes
like
sense.
yeah, because again, so what if we're doing a top 10? That's still, and if we're doing them bi-weekly, because obviously that's what it's almost going to be almost over an hour of just listening to this stuff.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be longer episodes for sure.
Yeah, so
Depending on the album, because some albums are only like 40-ish minutes too.
yeah, and I guess it also depends on if we decide to let's listen to someone, and we look at their discography to see how big it is. Like obviously, I really don't want to get into something like we did with Rush. Because
yeah,
that was
That's something like I think is fine to do like maybe once a year with like a band that has a really really long and heavy discography. Because yeah, Rush is like Luckily, there aren't many rushes out there where you're gonna have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But like, for example, a band that I wanted to get into really badly, I thought about recommending it because they don't have a ton of albums. I think they only have 5, maybe 6. Is Tool.
Oh, I think you
'Cause-
talked about them before.
Because well, I've known Tool for a long time, and they're another one of those bands that's considered one of the best to ever do it, but very prominent in influence for Sleep Token, right? So I was like, it's so interesting because I've heard some of their stuff, like 46 and 2 and all that stuff, and I was like, I guess I kind of get it, but after listening to like their whole discography, two of their albums to me are like also some of the best that have ever been written, but it's just fun because everything's expanding right now. I feel like my consciousness is growing.
Well, I think,
It's cool.
I think that's what's also going to be really exciting about listening to all these
Concept albums.
concept albums is kind of just more so expanding our knowledge of music.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll learn some big words along the way. And I'll be like, oh, I know what that is. Or I'll be like, that just sounds nice. Or I go like, oh, they used a big word here, and I know what that big word is.
Mm-hmm.
It probably won't happen, but there is a chance.
There's a chance, and that's all we ask for is a chance.
Yeah, no, so I'm excited to do that because also I probably need to step back from Sleep Token, mainly because it's kind of mostly what I listen to, obviously. I've never hid that fact from anyone. But I did start listening to, I don't know if you remember them, because I found it when I was still part of Apple Music, the Irish band that sang Shadow, who had the horse.
Oh, I don't remember what they're called, but yeah.
So my TikTok decided, because they just released a new song, they're called Kingfisher. I think it's spelt Kingfisher, but no E. So it's just Fish R. They released a new song, so I'm like, oh, let me check all this stuff out. And I just downloaded a bunch of their songs. So it's on the flight home.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I could listen to Sleep Token for 5 hours straight. Or I can mix it up a little bit and throw on some like folky Irish music. And I was like, this is pretty good. It was also, that was my nice little break from Sleep Token.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need that, but I also like that Irish folky music because it's just like homely.
Yeah. No, that stuff's cool, and it's good to expand and kind of try to find stuff like you didn't know that you liked. Like, I always liked Dream Theater, and they're the band I'm like turbo obsessed with right now. Like that, they have a song called Octavarium, which is the title track for their 8th album, Octavarium.
Whoa.
It's a 24-minute song. I listen to it probably 5 to 6 times a day, I'd say, all the way through, and it
That's
hits
like-
every single time, literally every single time. Like, totally obsessed with it. It's really, really
It's
good.
almost 2 hours
Yeah.
of the song.
Because I would love to do a Dream Theater episode where we do that, but they are one of those bands where they have a lot of albums, and each album is like an hour and 15 minutes, and some of those have like 6 songs on them because they just write a lot of really long music. So probably not going to do that. But what we should do is we should do a review of their concept album at some point because
Yeah,
it
we
is
can.
genuinely fantastic.
That's fine.
So I thought that'd be a fun thing to do too. But maybe like after we get through the top 10 stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's really covering the idea of that. Outside of that, it's bullshitting, kind
Yeah,
of.
generally.
It's just talking,
Having
just
a good
time to catch
time,
up.
vibing.
Yeah.
Jiving. Sometimes not driving.
Sometimes not driving. We're not driving right now.
No, we still need to get the
That is something we do
Driving
really
cam.
want to do. Is do like even if it's shorter form stuff, like driving to the gym, like the couple times a week we go and stuff, where we just set up a camera and have some garbage mics, and you guys can hear our insanity that we spew on the
It's
drive.
more like sanity. It's the way of the future.
It's big brain. Is
Yeah.
what it is. The brain is working overtime in that.
We will be world leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be our office.
It's gonna be so bad, dude. They're gonna hate us, or they love us
They're going to hate how much they love us.
because we bought a zoo.
Because we bought a
Because
zoo.
we bought a zoo, dude. That's we're so smart.
And who hates zoos? And it won't be like one filled with dinosaurs that's going to kill everybody. We might not even fill the zoo. It might just be rocks
What
everywhere.
if someone thought of that? Could you imagine?
Maybe getting all the dinosaurs, rounding them up. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing. I do want to kind of jump to the next thing, just because I know we got some stuff we want to talk about too. Specifically, the fact that I have been full gamer time in between dad, work, and gym time, where I've been putting a lot of my personal time at night into playing the Souls games, because I only played Dark Souls 3 like 15 times probably, not actually, but a lot. I've played Elden Ring a bunch. We just did a huge playthrough with one of our very good friends, Varys, and that was super fun and time demanding. I think I
Yes.
put like 150 hours into the
Yeah,
one
that
save.
was crazy.
But so I wanted to go back because I bought Dark Souls Remastered a while ago, and I just like started it, and then I kind of dropped it. I forget why. But I ended up picking it up again. I just restarted, and I kind of blew through it, and it is, dude. I could see why that game is considered like a classic. I see why Dark Souls has done as well as it has, because the map layout of that game might be my favorite of any video game I've ever played. I love how interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
It just has everything that I'd want, I think, in a game like that, where it does have challenging stuff, but most of the challenging things aren't like the bosses in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, at least for me. It's truly the arena, it's the journey, it's a lot of like weirdly placed enemies and stuff, and it's the classic tropes of like being around a corner you can't see when they like hide an item on a cliff and a guy explodes and sends you flying and stuff. Like that stuff, I always love that stuff because the game forces you to kind of memorize everything, because if you have to run back to a lot of places,
Yeah, it's terrible.
yeah, until you get the Lord Vessel, and then you can fast travel to a couple places. But it was a really, really fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. I need to go back because I did do the Artorias DLC.
Oh, you did do it?
Yes, I did do that. I went back and did that. I still have to do the Painted World stuff. I didn't do that.
What a heartbreaking DLC.
Yeah, it was. And it was awesome. I got the cutscene because I waited. And it was awesome.
Sif is the hardest Souls boss ever to exist.
Yeah.
Changed my mind.
Sure, he only has like 3 moves, but that cutscene emotionally destroys you. And then when you get him weak and he starts limping, and you're just like, fuck, dude.
Dude, I quit. I'll quit. I'll fuck it. I can't beat
Take
Dark
me
Souls
instead.
again. Yeah, it's just like
Praise the sun. Didn't save Solaire because I didn't know about that. Now I know how to do it. And yeah, you're right. I would have never figured that out.
no. It's actually crazy how you're supposed to save him.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I think if you do, he can
help you fight Gwen,
Yeah.
and then you could have him essentially. Because so what? How was multiplayer explained? It's like worlds are connecting, so like you essentially help him also link the fire in his world, and that's him finding his son. It's quite wholesome.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. The lore of these games is obviously like so amazing, and I need to dive into them more. I'm excited to do that, but I realized from like the gaming aspect of it, I personally realized why I need to blast through these, especially now. I feel like more than ever, because I feel like I need to beat the main game so I can like sit back and enjoy the game now.
Yeah.
Because mostly for like a time thing. That's why like Dark Souls 2, when I was playing that, I beat that pretty quickly. But dude, yeah, there are so many fucking bosses. It was
Yeah.
like you walk 10 steps and there's a health bar popping up. And I was like, what the hell? I don't think the game should get as much hate as at least I see. Because I see people like, it's almost treated like a cult game, I feel like, where some people just really, really love it and they think it's the best Souls experience you can have.
Yeah.
And then I think the majority being like, they definitely took a step back. Like, it wasn't.
Well, I think that's one of those where I think Dark Souls went like the quantity over quality route as far as like having the more theatrical bosses.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. When you come from like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring background, and then you start pushing to the earlier games, a lot of it's going to be a lot easier, anyways.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sure. You don't have like a quality of life stuff that the later games have, but overall, it's not as grand, and you've probably seen a lot of movesets you've already fought against. So like you're almost
I'm pre-programmed already.
yeah, you're
to do
almost
that
like
stuff,
oh, you're just assuming something's gonna happen, even though you don't even know that you're assuming it's gonna happen. You're just like roll, 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 blah, blah, blah. And you kind of just know. And I think those games were a lot slower, just because of how everything worked back then.
Which I really enjoyed the pacing of both games, to be honest. Like, of everything that was happening, I think Dark Souls 1 is like truly a one of one game. I really, really, really enjoyed my experience with that. So much so that when I beat it and realized I had to beat the DLC before I could actually, or before it just auto reset me. Because I don't know if that's a thing in the old games. It happened to me in the remastered. As soon as I beat the final boss, went into the cutscene, and then it just put me back in the jail cell. And it was like, we're starting over. And I was like, what the fuck?
Just run it back, dude. Just run it back.
So I did. I ran all the way through and did the DLC. I just got to where I needed to for that. But no, because I literally just beat Dark Souls 2 last night, and I think it's not a problem. I think what they tried to do was I think they just tried to make the runbacks in that game, like the areas, significantly harder. Like,
because there is a fuck ton of enemies in Dark Souls 2.
yeah, like the amount of ambushes that you'll run into are like you'll see like two, I don't know, like low tier like night guys just kind of like hanging out, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill these guys and run past them, and then there's like 15 more of them behind you, and you have no idea, and you're just like, oh my god,
I'm in danger.
yeah. But
no, it still isn't a bad game. It's just of that tier list, it probably falls lower. I also really hate that you have one specific skill you have to level up to upgrade your role.
yeah, dude, it's stupid. Like, I do
hate it.
question some of the things.
But again, they have to experiment with stuff to see what actually ends up working. And it was like one of those things, this doesn't really work, so they got rid of it. And you know what? That's okay.
But the thing I really did enjoy about Dark Souls 2 was, even though the bosses weren't hard, I thought they did do a good job with some of them of creating some really unique looking things. But also, honestly, this might be a hot take. I think the boss weapons in Dark Souls 2 might be the best out of the entire series. Because I also think I found my new favorite sword ever, maybe, in Dark Souls 2. And it was from the, I forgot his name, but it's like the Iron Smelter guy, but the blue one.
The Smelter Demon.
Because well, I didn't realize for a long time even where the boss soul like vendor was.
Yeah.
Because I saved her just exploring, and then just found her. I can't remember the name of the place now, but it's like the desert place with the quicksand pit and all that stuff. And I went and I was like, oh my god, bless you.
Thank you.
And she gives you a free one. And this was like very late into the game because I was just running around with the greatsword. I did a full strength build. I was just running around,
I mean, that's
low
really all
health,
you need.
and I like to bonk. That's just how I play these games. And then she was like, "Oh, take any of these for free." So I took that sword because I was like, "Oh, it's blue and big, and that's fun. It's got a vein in it." So I picked it up.
Yeah, it does.
And I was reading the description about like some charge attack thing, and I just loved that you basically just do like when you two-hand it a lunge, and then it just explodes, just like the ancient meteorite sword from the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which I had so much fun with. And I was like, oh my god, is this kind of where they got the idea for that, right? But this thing was just so disgusting. I was annihilating bosses with it.
I might say melting.
Yes.
With your flame powers.
Because by the time I got it in the game, I think I had all the proper amount of like material to max it out in level 2. So it was +5. And I was just going around and I was one-tapping like the basic enemies and stuff. Even like some of the bigger like medium guys would take like 2 swings. I'm doing like 1,500 damage with it.
You're just fucking rocking and rolling.
And then I do the charge attack and that shit does like 1,800 damage. So some of these bosses I'm fucking like two-shotting
Yeah.
at some point. And I was like, I ended up blowing through probably the last 30% of the game, even the final boss. The only one, I don't even know if he was technically important to kill, like to actually finish the story, was what the hell's his name? Vendrick? The king or whatever?
Yeah.
Because I went back, because I think I had to get like the giant soul from that body, because I remember there were a couple bodies I tried to interact with throughout while I was exploring, and I remembered where they were, So I went back because there was one in there, and he's like walking around like the soulless vacuum that he is. And I went and you could like talk to him and stuff. And then he was the last one I went to. And then I forget what I did. I think I was just rolling, but I forgot. I think I had an armor on or something, or no, you know what? I think it was the ring that you can hurt someone by just like touching them basically.
Yeah.
And it just started a fight with him when I didn't think you could fight him because I never swung at the guy walking around. So then he had by far the most health I think of any enemy in the game. He's really easy, but I killed him too. So I don't know.
Think if I can remember, because this could be. I might be thinking about a Demon Souls boss.
Demon Souls I have yet to play.
I know, which means I don't know if I want to ask the question. I don't think I should then, because we'll save that for when you play that. But the remastered is fantastic. It's super fucking smooth. That game is also, in my opinion, much easier than most of the Souls games.
Oh, it's definitely.
You can make it difficult for yourself, but that's like one of those things like you're gonna have to learn for yourself because the game can be very unforgiving if you play a certain way. That's all I'll say.
Sure. And the biggest thing, as someone who sucks at parrying in Dark Souls 3 and sucks at parrying in Elden Ring, I feel like a god in both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 parrying. It is like, it's so money. And I guess the real reason why it works better, I think, in the later games is they actually, I feel like in the first two games, there was no real penalty to parrying something. Like they didn't, you didn't have like a blue bar that you were losing something when you parry. Like, I think, isn't that in Elden Ring? Because I never really tried. When you parry, doesn't that technically, it's only a tiny tick. Doesn't that technically take some of the blue bar? I can't think what it's called right now.
The like FP?
Yeah. Because it's a special.
I don't think it did, unless it really did only take one away. I know there's weapons that technically come with
the magical parry and all that shit.
Yeah, and I think what is it? Is it the chaos? What is the katana that you find in the destroyed Firelink Shrine after you fight Champion Gundyr? Is that the Chaos Blade? It's the katana. I think that katana you have the stance and you do the parry. I think that parry takes FP away.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the traditional ones do. Unless it's been so minuscule I never even noticed.
I mean, I'd have to fact check that, truly. I assumed it did because I tried to parry in those games and I was just bad at it, and I just went, I'm going to bonk things. That's just, again, how I've always played. But just trying it in the old games, it's because the animations are slower. And it's just the same ordeal. You just watch the elbow. As soon as that comes, you just do that and boom. I don't like... The thing I actually dislike the most about Dark Souls 2 is the parry animation. How they fall backwards. And then you, smash them while they're knocked down. I hated that animation a lot. Truthfully. I think they tried to do too much. It's funny that they... Even, the backstab animation where, you'll, hit them up high and then hit them low and then, stab them or smack them.
Yeah.
I was like... Plunge the sword through, man.
No.
And they went back to that in Dark Souls 3 and it was great.
Yeah. So, they did a lot of experimenting, and I think it worked out really well because
it's a great game.
The predecessor also became very fine-tuned.
Yeah. But I will say, for the port of Dark Souls 2 to PC, at least I played it on Steam, the only true mechanical issues I ever had with the game, because there's obviously the janky hitbox bullshit and all that stuff. I didn't really face too many glitches. I didn't have enemies floating and shit like that, I've seen some people deal with. And I think it was just me getting used to it because it's a new game. Was getting used to the camera in that game took me a long time because it felt glacial. It was very slow. I went and I was adjusting my settings to try and fine tune it, and it took me probably until halfway through the game to figure it out because I thought it might have been a latency issue or something, but it's just a very heavy feeling camera. When you're moving the camera with the stick, it's it legit feels heavy on the game. It's weird.
It makes it feel real.
It does.
Real slow.
Real flow. Rest in peace, the flow. But
yeah.
I really enjoyed my experience with both those games. It was very fun. But I got to go back and now do all the DLC stuff because, like, I know for Dark Souls 2, I got to go to like the Winter Shrine that I
Yes.
happened upon at one point, and then
That sucks.
I got to do. There's another. I think I have to go down like the well to get to where I need to go because I did that, but I guess I didn't get to the point I needed to.
Just pause. I'm trying to remember all this shit.
But it's
been a
definitely
while
worth
since I
like.
dabbled.
You should definitely play it again. Like it on PC, it really did like hold up pretty well. Also, I think the weapon selection in Dark Souls 2 is just overall really good too. You can do a lot of like fun stuff in the game. They definitely, I feel like they tried to make it more video gamey, in Dark Souls 2 than like the OG. Like I felt like they were like, oh, we should saturate it with more content, kind of like what you were talking about. And in turn, they did actually do some fun. Like you can run around with a pirate hook. I thought that was so fucking funny. I was like, that's a
Yar.
great weapon. Like if that was an Elden Ring, I totally would have done a build with that. And maybe, I'm sure I'll play Dark Souls 2 again whenever I find it. I don't remember picking it up. I just had it.
You'll
I
be
might,
Captain
I might do that.
Hook.
Yeah, I might just start a new game and just use that.
That'd be miserable. That'd be so miserable.
Yeah.
Thinking about that just makes me want to die.
Exactly. Isn't
no,
that awesome?
No.
What?
No.
But
No.
yeah. So that's what was going on with Dark Souls for me, and I gotta dive into the lore and try to understand it a bit more.
The lore videos are so much fun.
Yeah.
And by fun, I mean just really sad once you realize everything's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's sad because everything's sad.
No.
Sad.
What if we make them happy?
You can't.
Oh. Not even
That's-
with cinematography.
But see, that's not even about Dark Souls.
It's the idea. I think they'd be enlightened.
I mean, they would be, but I don't think I could spin a happy tale. Like, you imagine me trying to spin a happy tale on Sif. I can't. I'll be crying.
True, yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
he'll
okay.
And then pick up the sword with his mouth. He'll be like, "No, stop!"
And I'm just gonna fucking alt tab and quit.
Alt F4.
Yeah.
See ya.
But
There's
yeah,
another thing. Fuck.
well, I know we talked about you talking about all the pullbacks they did to the older games. Like when you were playing
Oh, yeah,
Dark
the,
Souls
like,
3,
the
you were like, "Oh, the
referencing.
Farron Cole." You're like, "Oh my god, this is about this guy."
Yeah.
Um,
Well, even like I said with the weapon too. Like, I think there's just a lot of inspiration. I remember it. Dark Souls. I think it was Dark Souls 1. I could be wrong. Maybe it is the boss in Night Rain. The second one.
the gaping
Yes.
maw.
The
No, not
Gaping Dragon.
yes.
It's just called
yes,
the Gaping
yes,
Dragon.
yes.
That is, in my opinion, one of the best artistically designed bosses I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I was like, that thing looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's the most dogshit boss fight ever.
Yes.
You like instantly kill the thing, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay. When that cutscene played, and granted, I think there's a lot of people who are much more partial to the OG artwork for those games, but from my experience, like that thing, I was like, oh, that's like, if we're talking artistic direction for a boss, that might be number one, if not top three. Like, which that could be something we could end up talking about in the future too, because I'd love to. But I love the aesthetic of that boss.
Well, yeah, it's one of definitely. I'm trying to recall a bunch of them. It's definitely one of the more like, almost like, things that they really just ran with the wind to design. Because I know a lot of them kind of have more of a humanoid or animalistic kind of look,
Yeah,
and that just looks like almost Lovecraftian almost.
absolutely.
And that's why it looks really cool. But it's also just, it's like bleh.
Mhm.
It's like bleh. I'm gonna be splooge bleh. It's like okay.
The thing was a fucking paper tiger, which sucks, but
Paper tiger.
yeah, it's really, really cool. And that, it almost made me, I thought about, because I did delete Night Rain for the time being, because I just wanted to free up space on my PC. I do want to go back to playing it, and I think I'm starting to approach that.
I mean,
Maybe.
you do have the two
'Cause I
new
didn't do
playable
anything.
characters
Yeah.
and two.
Because I hopped on for that, and I think I just went and unlocked them, because I think it took like fucking 2 seconds to
Yeah,
do
it doesn't take any time at all. And they're both very good. I know I preferred the Undertaker over the Scholar. But still also very good. I think at this point I've played that enough that I switched back to the Executor because I always just love pairing with the sword. Even though my parry timing is such ass now. It used to be so good. Now I'm bad.
Isn't that a fucking person from Dark Souls 1 too?
The Executor?
Yeah.
Well, technically
fucking
they have skins.
the dual fight. Fuck. That it reminded me of that with Smog, however the hell you say his name, and
And Ornstein?
Ornstein.
You're saying the Executor?
I want to say Ornstein because the smaller one reminded me of that Executioner, whoever the hell it's called, in Night Rain. And I get that could be totally wrong, but when I played it, I was like, because I know about that boss fight. It's considered one of like the, especially for the time, I think one of the hardest ones, and it was very it was just aesthetically another beautiful fight. Like it was really cool. I actually want to learn about the lore because I remember hearing something that they hate each other or something.
Well, so Ornstein is.
I don't know.
Well, I'll try not to get too deep into this. Ornstein was, I think, based off one of the lore pieces, supposedly the leader of the Four Knights of Gwen. They have an argument. I forget the giant's name. The giant you meet that shoots down the dragon for you.
I missed that.
Oh, you fought the dragon by yourself?
No, because I didn't even know. I learned about that after. That's the one thing I missed in the DLC. Because you don't have to fight the dragon.
Oh.
I didn't know that. Because I went and I was doing it, and I just never went up and met that guy. And then I saw a video on my TikTok, and I was like, fuck.
So that guy is also one of the knights of
Which, by the way,
Gwen.
One of my favorite Dark Souls cutscenes ever. I'm really sad I missed it.
It's so
Aura.
sick.
He was like, oh, okay.
By the way, he's
bow.
blind. Well, he's not. Technically, he's not blind. That his helmet's full of like a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was also another one. Artorias was another one, and you actually have you could meet her. What is it? I forget her fucking name. I forget her name, but you can meet her actually after the Artorias fight. If you stay in the boss room after you kill him for a little bit, she'll appear and ask for the boss soul. And if you say no, you can fight her. I believe that's
shit.
I believe that's who that is. But she was like the assassin one. But Moog. Am I saying this right? There's too many names. Moog. Ornstein and Smog.
Yeah.
Smoke. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying Moog like fucking
Elden Ring. That's
Yeah.
what I was like,
That's why I kept saying it. I was like, this isn't right.
Moog, bitch.
He wanted to be a Knight of Gwen, but he was never given that, I guess, honor, if you want to call it that. And I think it was because of how he was more of an executioner, and he would like eat the people that he killed, and that was kind of like a no-no.
Yeah, you got that vibe. For sure.
So,
because when I ran through the game both times, because I had to fight them twice to get the Lord Vessel.
yeah.
The first time I think I killed,
You probably killed Smoke first.
I think I killed him first. Yeah.
And then you kill Ornstein, and then fucking
And the cutscenes are awesome
just
because
no remorse.
well, Ornstein was like, I thought when I was watching it, I was like, oh, maybe there was some kind of relationship there or something, because I feel like Ornstein, if I recall, like put hand on Smog, dead body, and absorbed and became huge and awesome, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Smog was just like,
Yeah.
just fucking exploded that bitch. I was like, oh my god.
However, there are other theories that go into this. So, obviously, there's some lore pieces that you find that say, I think Smog was the only one that stayed to defend, the gods still.
Mm-hmm.
But when you fight him in Dark Souls 1, he has Ornstein. Yeah, dude, I'm screwing up all my words right now. And there's lore that Ornstein left and went to go find Gwen's firstborn, which I'm assuming we kind of confirmed this. I don't know if it's technically confirmed, but is the Nameless King is Gwen's firstborn.
Oh shit! I didn't
Because Gwen's firstborn and Ornstein were close during the actual killing of all the ancient dragons. And since Gwen was gone, and Gwen's daughter left, and Gwendolyn was just kind of keeping up an illusion of her,
Mm-hmm.
he just dipped the fuck out to go find the Gwen's firstborn, and that's why you find Ornstein's armor in Archdragon Peak after you kill the Nameless King.
Oh.
So they're saying, so there's a theory that Ornstein is an illusion created by Gwendolyn
Mm-hmm.
to keep up appearances.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's just
That's crazy.
that's like the butchered telling of that. There's people out there that do that a lot better, because they pull up like the lore items, they show a little thing,
Sure.
they read the lore exactly.
No, see, that's why I need to delve into it so I can fully understand, like, because that stuff's so cool. They do such a good job of writing shit, and even if they were just like, fuck it, let's just put this there to fuck with people, like, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's kind of fucky wucky because it's just like what's truly real. Like, you did fight him in Dark Souls 1, but like, is it real?
In Dark Souls 2, I forget where it is. You can find fucking Havel's full set of armor.
Well, so there's a theory that so the person you fight in the tower isn't actually Havel.
Yeah.
Because when you kill the guy, supposedly it's Havel, he drops the Havel's ring, right? If I remember correctly?
Yes, I think so.
So that ring is supposed to be able so you could wear armor similar to Havel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Havel doesn't need to wear a ring to carry his own shit.
Yeah.
So why would he have his ring on? And I forget exactly how they put that together. But then you also find what's his nuts at Archdragon Peak. Either like another Havel lookalike or Havel. I'm forgetting.
At the top of that ladder.
Yeah. And he fucks your shit up.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they also can get into the whole what is that, rebellion that he was a part of. And that's because he hates Sif, because Havel was having kind of this like affair with someone of the church that wasn't supposed to. Affair is not the right word. He was cuddlingissing with one of the maidens of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and since he was like a bishop, it was kind of like a no-no. Like, things weren't supposed to happen, and Sif was experimenting on people. And he eventually he had one where it went wrong because the woman was pregnant. So he's like, all right, well, I'm only going to go after people who are religious and the followers here because they're going to be virgins.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to worry about pregnancy. Well, Havel got the bitch pregnant.
Classic.
And that's why Havel fucking went full rage on Sif. And he started his own rebellion that failed.
No.
Yeah, and that's how he got locked in the tower. But then they say people took him out of the tower and left someone to look like Havel. There's a lot going on there. A lot going on.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
It's kind of crazy how everything makes all the sense but no sense at the same time. Again, I'm also butchering all these stuff, and I'm also shorthanding it, so it's not, because those things you could talk about for like a fucking hour, and to like kind of wrap it into a nice little bow and shit.
Well, that's why eventually we will be doing the Souls lore exploration episodes, because that is something that should happen. I think we could definitely do that, like take it game by game.
Well, I think at that point I'd do a rerun of everything, because obviously, so it's fresh in the mind, and then I can also like read the fucking all the lore that's attached to items and shit.
You should.
And then also at that point, when we reference items, we could have a picture, and we could post the picture up, and then people could be like, oh, this is what they're talking about. It'll make sense.
Yeah. I think that would be a fun thing to delve into, just like one game at a time. Like,
wait, you
just
don't want to do all three at once?
Oh, and just have it be like a 10-hour video.
The Age of Ancients.
I find it so funny, just in overall media, and I don't know if it's from like a mythological perspective, but it's so interesting that like giants are always like this mythical being that seem to be like old and far away and dead from a time in the past. Because I only say that from two things, one being Dark Souls 2, like with the whole war of the giants and all that bullshit, whatever it is. Because again, I don't understand it fully. I got to go in and actually read it and look more into it. But also, I think of God of War, right? Like the Land of the Giants and stuff. Like there's a prominent thing with giants in media in that regard, and I find that very fascinating. There's nothing more I'm adding to that. It's just purely an observation I got from two large media pieces that I found funny, because I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't think God of War like bit Dark Souls shit with this, but it's
No,
interesting.
that
It's just like a
goes-
normal thing.
The giant thing goes back to Norse mythology, and the giants are always fighting with the gods. So that's kind of where the whole giant
It's just a really
theme-
interesting perspective, I feel like.
because they always seem to kind of hold true to some like reoccurring themes.
Yeah.
And even in games that are not supposed to connect. Because in Elden Ring, the giants basically get wiped out by Marika and the Golden Order.
Yep.
In Dark Souls 1, I don't think there really are any giants to really talk about unless you actually meet. I forget his name. The fucking Knight of Gwen. What the fuck is his name? It's gonna come to me at the worst point in time. I'm just gonna yell it out loud. It's not gonna be here. Because the giants just got hated, and that's why he was imprisoned.
Right.
Not that he didn't do anything wrong. They were just like, he's a giant, which probably, even though they helped him fight the ancient dragons. You see him again in Dark Souls 3, mostly imprisoned and used as like cannon fodder, essentially. Because you see the one trapped in the profane capital. I think that's technically, no, it's actually the prison, the ethereal dungeon. And then you see him when you're going up to Aranalondo to go fight, what's his nuts? Aldrich, while he's eating Gwendolyn. There's a bunch of giants there that are all dead except for like one, but that's because of a whole other ordeal.
So I'm telling you, I really...
There's a lot to talk about, and
I think
trying to sum it up in like, even if you do it a video each, you would just be more focused on main story, and maybe if you want to talk about certain things, but there's so much to talk about. Like, the whole world is built, you just have to like look for it.
Yeah. Which is why for some people it's not a very like palatable game, because and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be spoon-fed stuff like that, like, and have it just be like kind of told to you, but I think there is kind of like a nuance to storytelling when you have to do the research yourself, and you have to want to understand the world to really understand
your
it.
knowledge of Souls is purely going to become from how much you invest in playing and reading stuff.
Which I didn't do for the longest time. Like the first few times I played Dark Souls 3,
the game doesn't tell you anything. So you're like, oh, this item description. You like pick up a sword. It's like, oh, a sword that is sharp and is known to be held by the Lothric soldiers. You're like, okay, that's...
And you need 80 strength to use it for some reason.
But it's like basic description, and you're just like, oh, but then you like, you don't really start realizing stuff until you start like going like, oh, well, where did this fucking ring come from? And it's like, oh, well, this was the ancient ring of Starfighter 9000. And you're like, who the fuck is that? So you start finding more stuff, and you start putting pieces together, and that's how you figure shit out. So yeah, the world's lore is trapped essentially by how willing you are to go about doing it. And it's like sometimes maybe it's not your cup of tea to like, you're interested in how it all connects, but there's people that have great lore videos that connect it all and focus in on one specific story. Like VatiVidya, his earlier stuff, he just focused all in on that. And that's how you kind of like refine your knowledge on the stuff. And then you just kind of sound like a stupid little nerd because you're like, oh, Souls. And you're like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they tie the world together a lot, and it makes the other games make more sense. Like how I was telling you that the fight with Gwen is also really fucking easy. You could parry the guy to death.
Yep.
But it's almost kind of like he's the final boss, but it's also kind of like the culmination of your skills to just kind of be like, hey, you did it. This is like
it's the shifting of the power.
Yeah.
It's truly like it's a more narrative fight than it is a challenging one.
Yeah.
No, there's a beauty to that, but at the end of the day, at least for me, because it is really nice when you play a game that's so hard, and you're like in your brain, you're just like, I want this thing to be impossible, because that seems to be the case for every Souls game. Honestly, usually in the DLCs, I feel like they rectify that.
Yeah.
Like in Dark Souls 3, you have Gale, who's like, when you're not playing seamless co-op, it's insane, right?
Wrong game, but change the words up.
What is it? Like Elden Ring, obviously, you have Consort Radahn, who Dude, I don't want to get into it too much, but way too many people saying he sucks. I think he was a great boss. Beating him was like winning a lifetime achievement, especially pre-nerf, whatever.
It was like
I
Shia LaBeouf
did it.
clapping.
Yeah, I was pumped about it. Dark Souls 2, fucking, you fight fucking Natasha. I don't know her actual name. I can't remember it, but I was calling her
Natasha Romanoff, yes.
And then there's like the second phase of it with the big ball man of fire. And I was like, I guess that was fine, because all she did was she brought up like a bunch of those curse balls. And then I just like hit her 7 times with my sword and she was dead. And I was like, okay. But it's the common theme. I think it's always like the goal of those games is to make yourself so powerful that it makes sense that you are the king, you're taking over the throne, or however you choose to do it.
But then I guess just to kind of put the nail in the coffin for Dark Souls and the tying things together, like I was mentioning with Gwen, not to get into it, music's always really phenomenal in those games.
Oh yeah.
Great scoring. But then they kind of tied it together with Dark Souls 3 when you're fighting the Lord of Cinder. Is it Lord of Cinder?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that guy's name, but yeah, we're going to go with that. And you have the first phase, and the second phase he just turns into Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
And the music kind of basically copies that, almost bar for bar. So I don't think we're ever actually going to get a Dark Souls 3 again, because that kind of just, the way that they wrapped it up there, I think really just kind of shut the book. Which is okay, they're going to make new stuff. It's just not going to be Dark Souls, essentially. It's going to be Dark Souls, but not with the same title.
Yeah, it'll just be a new story.
Bloodborne 2.
Bloodborne 2 would be cool.
Because we're not getting a remaster.
Not getting shut up, Blue Point.
But see, so what I was hearing about that is when it was proposed, Miyazaki was the one that canked that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Because he said he wanted to be involved in it. And I was like, but think of the people.
I think, because the most common complaint about Bloodborne, even more than so, it's availability. Like, you technically could like find a way to port it and play it on PC.
Yeah.
Everybody's upset that it's locked at 30 FPS. Every single person that I ever see, because it's an older game and it was locked like that. And it's so frustrating because it's so funny that they could just hold a piece of media like that back when it's just a fucking video game. Like, how much money does... I don't know how the like logistics side of like Steam and all that stuff works. There's no way we can get some kind of like licensing contract or something to like, hey, we want to sell your game because we know we're going to make a fuck ton of money. Here's like $500 million for selling rights. And then they just have it. Right? And then Bloodborne, all of a sudden everybody can just play Bloodborne. Even if it's locked at 30 FPS. It's just a thing. I don't understand why the EP is locked.
The game will look super fucking beautiful updated.
Oh, it would. But I think that's why Miyazaki doesn't want to do it because, if he's not in charge of it, because that's something I saw with Demon's Souls 2. Because they changed how some of the characters looked and people were really upset about that. Even though the game like runs great and all that stuff, like they kind of, I think even in Dark Souls Remastered they did the same thing. I think some of the bosses look different than they did in the actual like original game. And I don't think in Bloodborne Miyazaki wants that at all. And that's probably why he turned it down, because of the reaction to those other games. Even though I only know Dark Souls Remastered and it was fucking awesome and beautiful and a great game.
No, but
so we're constricting the ability to play a really high piece of art, because I have a PS5 and I started playing Bloodborne. I haven't gotten back to it, and part of that is just it's not in the luxury of my computer, because that's where I spend my time. Because you join Discord with friends and stuff, and I know you can do all that stuff on PS5, but there's a nicety to being able to just hop on the computer and like click a game and just play it.
Yeah.
And it's a more, for me now, it's a much more natural experience than booting up a console and playing it on a TV. Even though, sure, I could play it on my monitor.
I like the relaxingness of the console, though.
Oh, yeah.
But, I get what you're saying. It's just, it's different now.
It is.
And we don't like change.
We don't like change.
That's why we carry dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. What he said. Amen, brother.
All right, so I think we're gonna put the nail in the coffin for Dark Souls now, because I think we've We've talked a whole lot about glazing it without talking about it. But that's, that's what it needs. It needs glazing.
Well, I need to get off my chest the fact that I did it and I beat the video game, and I really really enjoy that franchise as a whole, and there's still more to do, but yeah, I mean, fucking play them. Stop being a bitch. Get good.
Yeah.
Praise the sun.
Don't make me sad right now. Are you kidding me? But yeah, I think we're going to move on to the next and probably final subject that we talked about wanting to talk about. We have technically two cinematographies. Not
cinematography.
one, two. So this was probably a few months ago. I don't even know how long we've been on a hiatus.
12 years?
Regardless.
Oh.
This guy started watching a show called, I think, is it technically The Legends of Vox Machina? Yeah, I think it's that. So I was watching that, and I told it to him as kind of just like, because I didn't want to wait around to because I'd probably forget to tell him.
Mm-hmm. This was right as coming home with baby from hospital, and I took a week off work, and I was just home, so it was just very readily available to just have something on the TV at all times.
Yeah.
So I watched the whole first season of it.
Yes. So I proposed that to him. I'll give you guys the rundown as if I gave it to him as a full-blown cinematography, blah, blah, blah. It's created by these guys that had these D&D campaigns, recorded, a while ago. And they actually turned it into an animated show, and all the voice actors are actually the people that played them in the campaign. So a lot of the voice acting is very well done because people really loved the characters they made, and they got really invested in it. I think a lot of the character style that they do is really well done because it's their character. It's almost like it's them, and they just want to portray the character as the way they need it to.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously one of my favorite characters is Grog, because he's just a big barbarian stupid boy, and I'm a big barbarian stupid boy.
Yes.
But no, you get to watch the whole essentially campaign play out in multiple seasons, and they kind of pull in. I'm not familiar with D&D. We've been trying to get that to happen, but the boys just won't do it.
Yep.
Because they're bad. But they kind of make jokes about certain stuff because it's one person has a teleportation spell, and but they can only do it once a day. So it has they talk about cooldowns and all that, and you can almost kind of see sometimes when shit doesn't work out, how probably during the actual campaign they had, they rolled a fucking low number, so shit didn't work out. And you see some bullshit they got away with because they probably rolled a high number. Yeah. So it's really fun to watch, and it's kind of more of that obviously fantasy, mythical world stuff. So if you're into stuff like that, and you really like when people care about their work, I think it's a great thing to watch, and he can give you his thoughts and opinions on season 1.
Yeah, so when I went into it, because he gave me the good rundown of it all, I really didn't know exactly what I was getting into in terms of narrative building and all that stuff, because D&D's weird where it takes time, especially if you're newer to playing it, trying to learn how to craft your character, kind of like what you were talking about, where they were they wanted to present themselves in the character, but also they want to make it make sense. They don't want to be oh, I know the answer to the situation, because the character doesn't know the answer in the story, right? And it's really important, and they do a really good job of that. It's very funny. Even the action stuff is really fun, and you do notice the whole rolling situation. And I was a little on it at first, because again, they do a lot of world building in really the first couple episodes, and I was it's okay. But it really, I forget exactly, I want to say it was episode 5. It from whatever 5 to on, it just went so far up, and it became really, really good. And I was oh, dude, this show bangs. This is good stuff. Highly recommend watching it. I need to keep watching it. I haven't yet. But no, I need to get on that, and it's good. That's was a good rec. So check it out.
Yeah, and then technically, the second cinematography is actually made by the same people because I got on a whole kind of medieval, I guess medieval magical bender. And they actually made another show, which I'm assuming is based off another one of their campaigns, and that's the Mighty Nine.
Okay.
So it's very much of the same, like, theme, but you have new characters that are going to be following a whole new world with a
new
whole
campaign?
band of characters. I might say I think I like the group in the Mighty Nine a little more, because I think there's a couple more people that I like better because some of them are a little more goofy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the places that this one can go, I think the ceiling for it's very high in comparison, because I think from after watching the 3 seasons, I think that one's going to be, I think they kind of capped out. I don't know what else they could be really divulging into, but again, I'm not familiar with the world of D&D. They might have something like grand planned, but I think the group you're going to follow in the Mighty Nine, I think is going to be almost more, I don't know what the right word is. I don't know how to describe groups. Because goofy isn't the right word, but it's like you like watching their interaction because they almost don't like each other, but they're working together, and the way the banter between them is like really good.
Okay. So there's like, what I'm picking up is there's a lot of tension, and it's obviously comically broken up, but it's very I don't want to. It's not relatable, isn't the right word either. But I think it's easier to listen to something like that because it sounds like people just arguing, but in like a funny comedic way.
Yeah, like
essentially.
so. Yeah, and then sometimes it gets more serious because they also like really just don't like or trust each other because they kind of got thrown into a mess. Unlike you meet the other group and they are the group, like they've been together, they all trust each other and all that jazz. I think because you're watching this group kind of quasi come together, that itself I think makes it feel more personable because you're watching the group grow versus just seeing the group.
Okay.
I think that's what makes this one a little different. And I think that's what gives it the higher ceiling because
you get a bit more of a connection.
You'd essentially be watching the pre-Vox Machina, like them finding each other coming together, and I think that's what's really cool because then once they establish a group, then you start seeing all the struggles they're going through. Instead of having like flashbacks of stories, you kind of know their story already, so you know this like certain moments down the line might bring a different emotional thought to it because you now know more about them prior to getting like a flashback later on in the show.
Yeah.
But that only has the 1 season right now. But it looks like they're going to be doing, I think they're still supposed to do another season of Vox Machina, which I am excited for. But I'm almost more excited to see where the Mighty Nine goes.
Okay. No, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, obviously that's part of cinematography where I have to give it an earnest shot.
A good honest try.
And then I have to review it properly. Yeah. So, Vox Machina I did enjoy. So,
and that's all Amazon Prime.
AP.
Yeah.
But sadly, I think we are at the end of our return episode. So, as I watch Mighty Nine, I'll leave you with my Mighty Nine. Yes. My Mighty 3.5.
If you times that by 3.
No, dude, it's just cold outside.
It is. It's winter.
Yeah.
The snow is finally melting though, so that's good.
Thank fucking God.
But to all the busters who have still been bustering with us, thank you for bustering, because we keep shoveling.
We do, and we plan to keep this going, and there is some stuff cooking to evolve into.
I forgot to check the oven.
We forgot to check the oven.
Get it cooking.
Because we have so much going on. There's so much overhead. And ultimately,
we bought a zoo. Wait, what's mine? Keep on digging.
Stay digging. There's a baby's eating steak. Where, like, people will go out and buy like a huge ribeye, and they just put it in the baby's mouth, and the baby's going. all
Kind of
over
like a
it.
dog with peanut butter.
Yeah, literally, it's awesome.